Hello guys, welcome back to the channel, Rebuilt to Run. Okay, you're all familiar about the backstory that I lost my wife. She's been laid to rest now and we're moving forward. I'm going to continue the channel. I was going to let it go, but she'd be very annoyed with me if I did. Before she passed away, we designed a car that we was going to build based on a Peugeot 208. Now I have the car, I have the drivetrain that we chose to put in it, but what I don't have is the suspensions, the brakes, all the gubbins that goes with it to make it safe. So I've decided I need to raise some money to build the car we was going to build. And that brings us to today's car. Now this was donated to me by one of my son's subscribers at Malachi Art on TikTok. It was advertised on Marketplace as having a clutch fault and a service light on. So there's a few backs and forth. We've come to agreed on a price and a date to go and collect it. So I went up there to get it, collected the car. Well, not collected the car. I went up there to look at the car, and unfortunately, I decided at the time I couldn't buy it because there was more faults that I'd found on it. The service light wasn't because it needed a service. That had actually been done 2 or 3 months prior. I put it on my code reader, and actually it turned out to be some sort of oil fault. I can't remember what the actual code was, but we'll do that in a minute. We'll recode read it. So I opened the bonnet to have a quick look to see what I could go with to find on. Now the rocker cover gasket's leaking, but that's standard on this 1.6 Prince engine. But what was alarming, there was no water in the header tank. So I kindly said to the young lady that I couldn't buy the car because I couldn't afford to replace or repair the engine had it been catastrophic. Well, anyway, I was packing my stuff up to go, and then she come up to me and she said she was moving in 3 days' time. She's sick and tired of being let down. She's sick and tired of people not turning up. In fact, I was the first person to turn up and look at this car. It had been on sale for some 6 weeks. So she said she was going to give it to me. I was actually quite taken back about that, to be honest with you. And she did. She gave me the car. So I recovered it back home, and it's been sat here now for probably about 3 weeks to a month whilst I can finalise everything else that was going on. Now 2 days ago I put water in the header tank hoping to see it run out somewhere, and it hasn't. The water levels haven't dropped at all, which is not good news, to be honest with you, because I was hoping there was going to be a hole somewhere, but it looks like it's not. So now today, before we go ahead and start stripping the gearbox off to put the clutch in it, we're going to run through the diagnostics again and see what this oil fault is first and foremost. Then we're going to pressure test the water side to see if there's a leak somewhere that I can't see. Fingers crossed that there is. And if those come back as easy, simple faults to fix, then we're going to go ahead and put a clutch in it. Now, obviously I need to raise money to build the car that me and the wife designed. So without further ado, let's get into it, shall we? So, well, first off is I'm going to give you a bit of a run around the car so you can see what it's like. And then we'll put it on the code reader, see what the codes come back as, and we'll diagnose the water leak, hopefully water leak, because if it's head gasket, it's just going to go to scrap, and the money we get from scrap, we will go and buy something to repair. And secondly is, out of camera shot, I've already got the car, the channel's second car. Now this one runs and drives. It's a bit tatty, it's got good service history, and there's a good few repairs we've got to do on it, but we'll make that one look nice and pretty as well. But that's for the next video. So for now, we're going to get into the diagnostics of this and see what's going on. So let's get on with it. Right, as you can see, Bumblebee is quite a tidy little car. The bodywork's really nice. It's the usual DS3 style spec. I mean, it's got good tyres, good wheels. It's had disc and pads all around as well. It's actually been looked after. So I'm quite hopeful that the engine's not gone, because I don't really want to replace the engine, but I will if I have to. So it's not too bad. I mean, it's absolutely filthy inside. The partial shaft's missing. The boot liner's missing. But the guy that wants this isn't bothered about those, so I'm not going to be doing those. I'm literally going to be getting this car up and running and road legal. The tyres are good. The only real dent that I found on the car is this one on the sill here, where it's been jacked up wrong. But again, the guy that's knocked on and asked me about this car isn't too fussed about it. But as you can see, we're in the car. Right, we'll give it a start. Now, it's come up with the service light again. The engine light's non-existent, that's gone off. Hang on. Let's just flashed up some engine warning on there then. As you can hear, it sounds pretty good. But it comes up engine fault on the dash and the service lights come on. So now we'll put the code reader on and see what it comes up with. Now I haven't got one of these fancy equipments that everybody else has got. I've just got this I got off the internet, nice and cheap, but it does the job for me. So we've got a Citroen DS3 2011 petrol. Now with Citroen, I don't know whether you know this, but if you come round to the VIN number, well, you go to your VIN number, you'll have your engine code. But after the first 5 digits on your VIN number, the next 3 is your engine code, and this is 5FS. So there's a little top tip for you. So we'll go on to 5FS, and it tells me where the connection, if I go on to it, it shows me where the connection info is. So it's down here. Yeah, it's not very good. Right, give me a second, I'll find the OBD port. That's not right. Everything's saying it's down here, and it's not. It's over in the... Right. All the internet pictures and everything are telling me it's this side. It's not. It's in the glove box on this DS3. So let's get it plugged in. Right, so now we're connected. Turn to position 2. So we've picked the engine, do a scan. Right, okay. Now the fault codes that I was getting is, which I'll upload a photo. Right, it's P15A7, which is oil pressure not consistent with the atmospheric pressure permanent. And P1589, oil pressure sensor signal fixed intermittent. So to me, that's going to be a sensor for the oil side, which is good news. So I've got one of these scrap engines around the back, and I'll go and pull off the 2 oil sensors. There's one on the back, and there's oil filter cap. There's a little sensor there, and that does your pressure. No, it could be the pressure sensor. There's 2 sensors on this engine. There's one under the bottom, around the back of the engine, sorry, and there's one on the, like I say, on the oil filter housing. So before we do anything else, I shall change that and see how we get on. So I'll close this down now, and we'll go around to the front and we'll change the oil sensor and see what happens, see if it clears the faults. Now, the sensor I'm talking about is this one down on here. So I'm going to set the camera up a bit better and we'll get on to changing that. Take the one off the scrap engine around the back. And the reason I've got one of these scrap engines is because you see that DS3 there, that's Malachai's, and we bought that with a blown engine. I bought it for £300, delivered. It needed an engine, and the reason he wanted it is because it's automatic, and my son's just as lazy as me because I like driving automatic as well. Right, so I'll be back in a second. And if by magic, here's the sensor I'm talking about. So I'm going to get this changed, and then we'll go back to the code reading. Now to change this, we've got to take this cat heat shield off. It should be 6 bolts on this. That one's loose. That one's loose as well. Someone's been here. Wasn't anyone in. Right, let's get this out of the way. So now take that off. We'll take the sensor out. It's easy as that. It's not been messed with. It looks like the original sensor. Okay, so out with the old, in with the old, but new for test purposes. Now, you don't need to over tighten this. It's going into aluminium, so you strip the feds. It's probably torque settings about. Make sure it's tight, to be honest with you. But not over tight, because you don't want to strip that. Right, so that's plugged back in. So it was a quick 5-minute job, that was. And we'll get the camera back round and we'll test. Let's see how we get on with that now. Right, okay. Let's put the key back on now. We'll open the computer back up. and we'll clear these codes. I don't know whether you can see that. No communication with the VCM. It's because the car was turned off. It's reconnecting now. Right, we've cleared the fault code now, so close this back down, turn it off, turn it back on, start the car. Right, no, that hasn't come back on now. So it looks like that we have got a dodgy sensor on the oil side. So thank God we've got no oil pressure fault. So we're 50% way around now to proving that the engine is serviceable and we can get on with this repair. So I'm just going to leave this as it is. We'll turn it off. Now we're going to pressurise the water side to see where this leak is. If it's in the engine, it's scrap and the car's going. If it's on the pipework, radiator, then we'll be replacing those parts and continue on with repairing the clutch. So I'll bring you around the front and we'll get on with it. Well, I'll put the window down because I'm leaving the keys in the car in case it locks. I don't want to end up busting windows and everything. So right, back round to the front, get the pressure tester out. Now this is just a Mickey Mouse kit I bought off eBay. It's not the best of kits, but I bought it for this job. Well, not this job, it was a car before. In fact, it was that car, my son's car. Right, okay. The pressure's dropping. I can hear it leaking. Oh my God. Let me show you. This is good news, this is. Right, we found the water leak and it is just there. If we've got a split header tank. So we're not completely out of the water yet, but we need to change the header tank. So that's good news for us. We know what the oil temperature fault was. We've got a sensor. There's no point in replacing that. It's a used car anyway. It's a used part that's gone in it. So we'll leave that as it is and put all the heat shield back on. We've got a split in the header tank. So before we do anything, I'm going to have to go and get a new header tank. So I'm going to go down my local parts supplier now. See, I'm going to buy the clutch. I'm going to buy the header tank. And then we'll get on with doing more repairs. But fingers crossed, this engine's gonna come again. It's not come again. Fingers crossed, this engine's gonna run again, and it's gonna run well because I've already had an offer on this car. One of my local people who know that I've tinkered with cars has knocked on and asked me if this is for sale, and they've offered me a good price for this car if I can get it up and running. I've explained that what I think it needs now. I've explained what was going on with the situation, and it was a case of if you can repair it, I'll buy it. And he's offering me a good price, so I'm going to go and get the parts now. So I'll see you very shortly. For me, it's going to be about 15 minutes, half hour, but for you, it'll be the next frame. So I'll see you in a second. Right, we're back. I've gone and got the parts. They had everything on the shelf. Nice new header tank. And I've actually bought the clutch as well because I'm confident we're going to be able to repair this car now. So I'm not going to tell you the company I got it from because I'm not sponsored or anything. I'm not endorsing anybody yet. The clutch, don't know what the brand is, but I don't care. The clutch was $61.72 on trade discount plus 20% VAT, and the head expansion header tank was $18.33 plus 20% VAT. Total price of £96.06. So all fingers crossed, we should be fixing this car for less than £100, and that's a bit of a bonus. So hopefully things are really beginning to look up for us. Starters. So it looks like the header tank. Now on this one, I've got it's leaking from this seal here, and these are hot welded in the factory. So hopefully it was just a case of that's worn out, it's gone brittle and it's cracked. So now we're going to get this installed, fill it back up with water and repressurize it and see how we get on. So turn the camera around and we'll get on with it. Right, now looking at this, there's no bolts or anything in this that holds it in. It's just these two little tabs. Push them down to release the clips, I think. Or it might be a case of just yanking it out. I don't know. Let's just get on with it. Going to break the clips on this. First thing I'm going to do is take this off the little bleed off pipe, because these tend to snap because they're ever so brittle. So we'll get that out of the way. Right, that's that. Popped it out. What's the bottom clip live? Right, that's the clip broke. I'm bothered about that because it's going anyway. Tip that out. Thing is, these pipes are so bloody brittle. Right, that's the header tank off. And as you can see, we've got run marks down there, and oh no, it's split there. So hopefully that's just because it's brittle and old. We'll soon find out when we pressure test it again. Right, let's get the new one in. This has just got a little spring clip on it. Put a screwdriver behind it, hold it, and just push the fitting off and it'll be fine. So now, I don't know whether you heard that, but just clip back in place. That's it, just clip back in. Put the leak off in. That was a quick change. Right, I'm gonna get some water, we'll fill it back up, and then we'll get the pressure tester back on it and see if it holds water. Right, fill it with water. Right, we're over the max, but I'm testing it at the moment. It's getting a bit warm, so I took the jumper off. Right, let's pump it back up, see if it holds pressure. It's holding pressure. We might have got lucky. That's on 1.5 bar, so we'll leave that on there whilst we put the heat shield back on. And after the heat shield, hopefully, if it's still at 1.5 bar, but at 1.5 bar, we can pretty much be confident, because of the state of the oil, that it's nice and clean, and the pressure's holding, and the service light's now off because of the sensor. We're confident enough that the engine's good enough for us to continue and put the clutch in it. So fingers crossed whilst I do this. Bloody awkward these things are. Should put these on quick clip release. There's no need for all these 6 bolts. It's bloody overkill. The threads on this one are knackered. Let's give it a bit of lubrication. So we get the 3 awkward ones started. There's no point nipping them all up yet, because if you nip them all up now, you can guarantee they don't line up for the other holes. Again, these don't need to be megally tight. It's just a heat shield. So just take them home and then a little nip on each one. Just hold it secure. Quarter turn on each one. There's no need to over tighten them, because you'll never get them off again. Right, that's all that done. We're still at 1.5 bar. So fingers crossed we don't have a leak. Now this is just a Chinese thing. I don't expect the seals to be very good, and the only seal I had on here was the cap ring, because that's way too big that's too big for that seal there, so I was relying on that rubber seal there. So hopefully we found the water leak and it's not the head gasket. So we're going to continue on now, get it on the axle stands and get this gearbox off so we can do the clutch. First thing we'll do is get it on axle stands, get the front wheels off and get all this stripped out, ready to pull the gearbox out. Time lapse for you, a couple of hours hard work for me. Just realised locking wheel nuts, and there's not one on this wheel. I'm just going to check this wheel. And God for that, there's no locking wheel nuts, because there's no locking wheel nut key with this car. So that's one problem. Another problem averted. Let's get on with it. Now, I don't work like other mechanics. Every other mechanic that I know puts all their nuts and bolts in different little baggies and all that carry on. Whereas I don't, I just chuck them all in one pot. And then when that pot's empty, I know I put it all back together right. Right, before I set the battery off, I'm going to put the window back up. Wheel chock. Now, I'm not going to mention the brand. You can clearly see what it is. For fuck's sake, sort out your batteries, will you? The casings are terrible. All 4 of my batteries, the cases are broken. and I don't know where to get them from. So if anybody knows where to get this brand battery cases from, let me know so I can repair my batteries with you. Right, let's get this wheel off. In my pot. Right. I always put the wheels for safety there under the car, because if the axle stands lean forward, then the car will drop on the wheels rather than myself. But it shouldn't move forward because we've got the chock in the back. But another bonus, this car's had new disc and pads all round, so it has had money spent on it. It's a good job we're saving this one from the scrapyard. Right, let's get a drink then. It's knackered. Right, and let's get all this stripped out. Wish I could see these bolts now. There we go, put that in there. Air box out. Air tube. Plastic in this car. Right, I'll get this bit out first before I get that off. Right. Now I like to put my tools back after I've finished using them, so I know where they are when I need them again. So I'll take these two 13s off. These are main power. These I'll put back on. Main power terminal. Out. Push that forward, get that out of the way. Battery box off. Get the 10mm. I just said put the 13 back. Always disconnect your positive first, because if you do your negative first and you touch the body, you're going to arc and you might short stuff out. So just a rule of thumb, always take your positive off first. That's what I was taught. Well, I taught myself because I've never been to college a day in my life to do this. I've just got a knack for taking things apart and realising why it's broken and repairing it. So that's the battery out. Lovely. 10, so it's 2 more 10s down here on extension. And yes, I have done a clutch in one of these before, so it makes it easier for me. In fact, I did one. Did the clutch in a blue one that I bought for the engine to put into my son's car. But when I got the blue car back home, it was just too clean. It was far too nice to take apart and destroy. So I decided I was going to repair that one and use it. But I ended up selling it for the funds. So I put a clutch in it and then sold the car. So if the guy who I bought the blue car off is watching this, so my apologies. Must, and I had to raise funds, which, you know, right now the second bolt's at the back of this, so we'll do this from underneath. So at the moment, believe it or not, until we do the gearbox mount this side, everything's off from the top. So now we've got to drain the gearbox oil, remove the clutch slave cylinder, and then take the drive shafts out, take the bell housing bolts off, and drop this side of the engine mount down and pull the gearbox off, which will reveal the clutch that we need to change. So There's no point in you watching me just taking bolt after bolt apart. So I'm going to stop this video now because I want to put my music on because I can't record at the time. So I'm going to put my music on, and when I'm at the point of revealing the clutch, I'll put the camera back on. So I'll catch you in a couple of hours. Well, not a couple of hours, about an hour's time. Okay. In fact, I'll show you. It's now 12:27. And see how long it takes me to get this gearbox off. Catch you in a bit. Well, another little tip, what a lot of people do is these pinch bolts that pinch around the bottom bolt, is everybody beats them out from the other side. Well, in my experience, I find the easiest way to do it, especially if you've got one of these guns, even if you haven't, you can do it on a ratchet. You put the bolt on the other side and you'll listen to the note change. Just keep spinning it. It does that, and then it'll just push straight out. Little top tip for you. I've already got the drive shaft out the other side, where I think it's 15 minutes past the timer I set because I had to nip round the shop and get a bucket to drain the gearbox all out. So I'll leave you again now and I'll crack on getting the rest of the drive shaft out, and then when we're underneath I'll bring the camera around. Okay, catch you a bit. Well, as you can see, gearbox is off. We're going to do the clutch now. I'll show what the time is. 13:36. I popped to the shop to get the bucket to drain the oil, so it took me about 45 minutes to get this box off. Right, we'll get the camera moved around and we'll get the clutch changed. Right, so I'm going to get in and get this clutch out now. It looks like a T30 or T40. Yeah, it's the 40. So I'll get these out now. Right, that's the clutch. I don't know if you've seen it on camera, but all the clutch material is dropping out. So this clutch is probably one of the worst I've seen yet. So this has just been spinning really bad. So ready? Get a state of that. There's absolutely no material left on that clutch. I've never seen one like this before. Get some brake and clutch cleaner. Clear the flywheel. And all that dust off. So it's nice and clean. That's important, that is. And then when we put the clutch in, the clutch is sided. So it will say on it somewhere. Right, see? I don't know if you can read it. It says flywheel side, so that goes against the flywheel, obviously, and then the pressure plate goes this side. This is the new release bearing to go into the gearbox, which I will be fitting in a second. That just slides straight on. This isn't one of the fancy ones where you've got to set all this up or anything. It just literally bolts on, and you spray this as well to get all the grease and all off it, which I should do in a minute before I put it on. All right, so clean all this off. Get a nice clean rag or your t-shirt. Right, that gets all the grease and oil and everything off. So this is flywheel side. So drop this onto the clutch and centre it. Turn it over. And this is what I was on about. Clutch centering tool. Drop. The way this works is this just fits in and it pulls it tight on the inside and just holds the clutch in place. And I wind this down on it and it just centrals the clutch for me, so I can literally just put it on, bolt it all up, and the clutch is in place. Then if you don't do that, or you don't line it up when it's on the car, you'll never get the gearbox back on because the splines won't line up with the main input shaft and you'll be fighting like hell to get the gearbox back on. I used to just get underneath and lift the gearbox onto my own. I'm getting on a bit there, so I can't do that. So I'll get my engine crane out and let that take the weight. So now I'm going to get underneath, push the gearbox into position, drop hopefully 2 pins in, and then we're ready to start putting it back up. The clutch is back in place. The gearbox is suspended on the gearbox is suspended on my strap there now, and the engine crane's doing the hard work. So I'm just going to wiggle it about, hopefully just straight back on like butter. Fingers crossed. I need this out of the way now. is how it's done. It's the quickest way to get the gearbox back on. Get something like this all the way, put the guide pins on, just slide it straight on, and it's on now. I'm just going to put a securing bolt in place so it doesn't fall back off, and then we'll lift the engine mount back into place, bolt it up, and then we're just going to zip it all together. So there, see, I hadn't put the tools away today at the moment. I'm looking for them again now, and I just said earlier, put your tools away and you know where they are. And I'm just not following my own advice. Right, that's the top bolt, and I'm going to do the bottom one now, and then we're secure and I can take this out of the way. And there we go. That's the gearbox back in place. So now we're going to put the gearbox mounts back on so we can take the jack and the axle frame, the jack and the engine crane out the way, and just zip it all together. Get the bolt started, finger tight first. Right, we'll zip these down now. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how you put a clutch in one of these. So there's no point in you watching me just zip it all back up, because you've seen it hundreds of times if you watch these videos. So I'm going to zip it all back together, get it off the axle stands, and then we'll go for a test drive. Right, wow. If there's other bits and pieces I think are important, I'll show you, like filling the gearbox back up rather than doing it from the fill hole on the side. I only normally take the centre out and do it from the top. It's much easier, and I'll show you that on the camera when I'm ready to do it. So I'm going to shut the camera down now, put my music back on, and get on with it. So I'll see you in a bit. Right, we've got the clutch in, we've got the gearbox back on, we've got the wheels back on. I'm just setting up the top here now. I'm going to put the gearbox all back in, and like I said, I don't like to fill from the fill hole at the side. I like to take the reverse switch out and just fill it up from there. So I'm going to take that out now and clean it because it was a bit corroded anyway. I'm going to check it. I don't know what you can see in there. It's all green, so we're going to clean all of that. And this is my bucket of gearbox oil that I drained earlier. Off camera, of course. It's much easier to fill it this way than pumping it into the side of the gearbox on your back. Nice and clean at the bottom, so the gear oil was good. You reuse where you can. Put my sensor back in. And give it a little nip up. You don't have to over tighten them. There we go. Nice little nip up. Job done. That's the only electrical connection on the gearbox back on. My earth strap back down. It's not an earth, it's your neutral. Everybody calls it an earth, but it's not. It's your neutral back to your battery. They all leak on the rocker cover. I did notice that one of the bolts was loose right in the corner where it's leaking. It was actually finger tight, so I've tightened it back up, and hopefully that solved that as well. Now that is the car back together. What I'll do now is I'll connect the battery up, I'll start the car, and I'll go through the gears to make sure we get motion back on the wheels. Then I'll stop this recording, I'll charge the battery up, and then we'll go out for a test drive. So, everything back in place. Let's start the car. So yeah, it started okay. Engine light's gone off. Clutch feels good. Into first. So braked with the engine running to make sure I was still rotating. So yeah, I still need to bleed the clutch a little bit. So we've got rotation now. Put it into reverse. We've got drive back. So that's that. So I'm now going to turn the camera off, put it on charge. It's been on all day. I'll bleed the clutch up, which is a piece of piss. It'll take me 5 minutes. So I'll bleed the clutch up, get it off the axle stands, charge this battery up, and we'll go out for a test drive. So things are looking good. Cheers, boys. Right, for the 4th time, we're going on a test drive. I keep ballsing up this camera equipment and the microphones. This is what Mary used to do for me, but obviously I've got to learn to do it myself now, so hopefully this is working. So now we're going on its test drive. Well, as you can see, the engine's lovely and crisp. It's holding its water well. No oil loss that I can see. The clutch is lovely and smooth to change gears, no crunching. So this repair I'm classing as very successful. So this is another car we've saved from the scrapyard. So talking about the car, saving the car from the scrapyard, I'm clearly going to be needing these cars. So if you've got a car that you're considering scrapping, rather than send it to be crushed or to be taken apart, if you fancy seeing it repaired on YouTube, then drop me a message. My contact information's in the bio. Tell me what it is, what's wrong with it, how far away from Tamworth you are, and we'll see if we can come to some arrangement, and maybe your car or your old dead car can be the next car featured on my channel. Well, it won't be the next one, I've got the next one in already, but then the next one after this one coming. So now I'm going to go and take you around to where one of my favourite spots is, and we'll do a walk around on the car and show you how it's come up, because the new owner has already had it cleaned, and to be fair, this car's come up really impressive, to be honest with you. My phone's still working. So yeah, I'm very, very impressed with this one, and its new owner is as well. I hope the microphone's still connected. So as you can see, it's actually cleaned up really well. The new owner had to get, well, I think he cleaned it himself. The bodywork's really good. It was definitely worth saving, this one was. I'll take you under the bonnet in a second. The interior's come up exceptionally clean, to be honest with you. He's done a good job of it. So, as you can see, it's really tidy. So now to the engine. Well, as you can see, guys, you can't tell I've been in here. The water levels is exactly as I left it, slightly over the max, so there's no leak. The customer knows about the rocker cover gasket leaking, and I've got one somewhere. I was going to find it out for him. He's going to put that on himself because he does all his own services and everything, so he's very happy with his car. He's got no complaints, so that's another one saved from the scrapyard. So guys, thank you very much for watching this episode. I've already got the next car in, as I've already told you. Again, like I've already told you, if you've got a car that you wanted to scrap, hit me up, see if we can come to a deal with me to repair it, save it, rather than getting it crushed. But this one's off to its new owner, which you already know he owns it. So subscribe, like, share, follow. It all helps the algorithm. I am a brand new channel, so all the interaction and carry on that you do will really help my algorithm. So I'll see you next week on the next one.
He's actually kind of funny. Is he all there? Like, mentally?
I think so. He's just an odd guy. You know, it's kind of weird.
I mean, should we be worried?
No.
All right.
No.